Hello, everyone. My name is Jalen. I am a program coordinator here at VitalLink. I want to again thank you to all the students and educators and parents joining us today for our first Mount San Jacinto College Nursing and Allied Health, EMT, and Fire Technology Pathway event. And this is our college panel. At this time, again, if you are just coming in, please remember to mute yourself and turn off your camera so we can highlight our panelists. All right. Well, thank you to our panelists for being here today, giving us their time to speak with you all. I'm excited for everything they have to say. The chat room will be open for any students or educators to ask any questions. I will try to work those in so we can answer as many as we can of your guys' questions. All right, well, let's start with an introduction of our panelists. Miss Tracy and Miss Velma, will you guys introduce yourselves, your name, your title, and a brief background about your sector? Tracy, would you like to go first?
Sure, Jalen, thank you for the invitation today. So my name is Tracy Francis, and I am an instructor and director for the DMS program at MSJC. And DMS stands for Diagnostic Medical Sonography, otherwise known as ultrasound. And so that's my title over there. And we have a great program, so I'm happy to introduce everything to you today and answer any questions that you might have about it.
Great, thank you, Miss Tracy. And you, Miss Velma?
Hi, I'm Velma Borres, and I'm over the medical assisting program. We have a medical assisting employment concentration, a medical assisting certificate in front office, a medical assisting certificate in back office, as well as an associate degree program. I've been with MSJC on and off for a few years now. I really enjoy what I do. I work full-time at Paris High School, also teaching medical assisting.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, well, let's get started with our questions. Miss Tracy, in your diagnostic medical sonography sector, does your course offer dual enrollment? And if so, what real world experience are students learning that will benefit them in entry level?
That is a great question. We don't have direct dual enrollment through our program, but many of the prerequisites do have dual enrollment. So definitely, as Velma, Ms. Burrows said, we have medical terminology. And so that's usually one that you can find as dual enrollment. And probably most of those questions would be directed towards our allied health counselors, and they would be able to specifically tell you which courses you could take in high school and which courses would be considered equivalent once you start at the college. So definitely there's that path. I would say if you're looking to find out what career, maybe I'm kind of adding to your question, but if you're looking to find out what career you really like in high school, I know there are a lot of careers that we hear of every day, right? We hear of doctors, nurses, firefighters, but there's a lot of other support programs or support careers that are in between all of those kind of well-known careers. And so if you can explore that, and if you know someone in your family or you have friends, reach out to them and ask them how they like their job and what advice they would give you. And so really, I would say talking to a lot of people, a lot of adults, right, who have been working in a certain career, reach out to them and really sit down and talk with them and see what they like about their career. So I'll throw in one last thing with sonography is that I would say 99% of sonographers that you speak with, they're going to say that they still love their job after 20 plus years. And so that says a lot to that career.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Ms. Tracy. We do have a new panelist that just joined us from MSJC Fire Sector, Paul Lindley. Welcome. We're happy to have you. could you please, we're just going to take a step backwards, and can you please introduce yourself, your title, and give us a brief background about your sector?
Well, good afternoon. My name is Paul Lindley. I'm associate faculty here at MSJC's Fire Technology program. Here in the MSJC Fire Technology program, we offer a fire technology certificate as well as an associate's degree. And an associate's degree is good for most CSUs and 2+2 programs. And we align with San Marcos for the wildland program.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I guess I will hop in and ask you also the first question. In your course, do you guys offer dual enrollment? And if so, what real world experience are students learning that could benefit them in an entry level career?
So we don't really have a dual enrollment program. We are getting there. We have the ability for high school students to attend.
Cool.
And we do have a lot of fire explorers that attend our program who are between the ages of, I feel like 17 to 19 years old, still in a high school room. But we don't really have any real world experience to offer them because we don't offer a fire academy. But we do have 3 instructors in a program, myself included, with vast experience in the fire service, emergency services, fire prevention, arson investigation. And we give those students a deep dive into our role and into our aspect of the fire service so that they feel surrounded with the proper knowledge to be able to do the job when they have that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. Thank you. Ms. Velma, I'm also going to throw the same question at you about dual enrollment. What do you guys have anything to offer?
We have quite a bit to offer, actually. And so I know here, even at Paris High, we had at least 3 of our classes that were considered dual enrollment with MSJC. We have several of our classes, 4, 5, 6 classes throughout our district that have articulation agreements, which means that students who've taken the courses in their high school can also get college credit. So we do have articulation agreements with several schools throughout the county. I just got through signing off on 2 of them this week. So they would petition for articulation agreement, which means that their curriculum matches ours. We do look at to see the comparison between the curriculum that they have at the high school and the curriculum that we have at the college. And as department chair, I get to view those and approve them as articulated courses, which means when the students have completed their courses in high school, they can get college credit. They include, for instance, medical terminology, medical ethics, medical assisting front office, and medical assisting back office. We've been offering dual articulation agreements. Very similar to dual enrollment. The difference with the dual enrollment is the instructors at the high school must meet college requirement for employment. So if for instance, it requires a master's degree or something like that, then the high school instructor will need to meet the minimum qualification as a professor in order to offer courses as dual enrollment. If they want dual enrollment, they can go to the district. Personnel would be the ones to initiate that with our school to formulate that contract of having a dual enrollment class on their campus.
Great. That's awesome. That's a lot of stuff for the kids to be involved in and know and all that kind of stuff. That's great.
One more thing, if I may add,
Yeah, of course.
medical assisting is used a lot in a lot of different pathways. So I have students ask, so if I take medical assisting, does that mean I get credit for nursing, meaning I don't have to take a nursing class? And the answer is no. However, there's several programs that require patient care, a certificate, industry experience. And I've seen students who have used medical assisting, the medical assisting certificate. We do offer externship. So students are able to participate in real world, well, the college students are. And so they're using that for nursing. So they get points towards nursing. They get points towards a sonography program. And recently, I teach an adult school through Paris District. And I had a student who was entering med school who did not have any industry experience and realized that that was also an important requirement. And so she was able to go through the program and be able to get the externship, and she got hired out of that externship. So that was really great. I also know that physician assistant programs require almost a year worth of patient care. And so a lot of students figure, oh, I'll just get my bachelor's and then I'll apply to PA school. Well, PA school does require about a year worth of patient care. And so medical assisting has also been that pathway that they have used. Medical assisting is versatile in that students who don't want to work in the back office, who are a little shy of needles and all the other procedures, they have the option of doing front office. So they still get to have some kind of patient care. They do phone calls, registration, medical billing, and so on. We've also offered medical scribing as part of the program as well. So students are able to use medical assistants to become medical assistants, work in the front office, the back office, work as medical billers and coders, and now medical scribing. So they have like 4 different options. They can also get certified in all 4 of those areas, and they can use it as point system and patient care experience going into their other careers.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Velma. I'm sure that was so helpful for many of the students that are listening in right now. That was great.
Can I add to that too, Jalen?
Of course, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Velma, for adding that, because that is something that with our point system as well for applying to the DMS program, we definitely look for students that have patient care. And that just lets you know that you understand the type of job that you're going into. So in the past, quite a few years back, we've had our program since 2007 at the college. And so before we had that point system, we did have students coming in that did not have a healthcare background or direct patient care. And they are definitely able to learn the material. They're able to do the job. But some of these students would start their clinical program or their internship at the hospital. And like Velma said, they were queasy with needles, they weren't comfortable around blood, all those things. And so if we encourage students to get these, MA or EMT or fire or anything like that, it's a great stepping stone. Like she said, if you want to go on to something else, and it really gives you that real world understanding of what it's like to work in a healthcare career.
Absolutely. And it'll all in all help you save a little time in deciding what you want your final career to be.
Sure, you might decide that it's not for you.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you both for sharing. Michael, I'll throw you this next question. Does your course offer certifications, badges of completion, or like how many credit hours must be completed to receive any type of certification?
Sorry, I was muted. Actually, I'm Paul. I'm not sure who's turned my name to Michael, but Michael Spalding is our fire technology director. I'm sitting in for him today. So we do offer a fire technology certificate through MSJC's fire technology program. You do have to take the core classes here at MSJC plus 6 additional program electives. And with that, you can get your certificate in fire technology. And the core classes that we require, fire technology, intro to fire technology, which is Fire 101, Fire 102, fundamentals to fire prevention, Fire 106, which is your fire behavior and combustion, Fire 109, which is your fire protection systems, and classes of that nature. So you come out well-rounded and add a fire technology certificate.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Velma, same for you. Any certifications that they'll need to be completed to receive any badges or anything like that?
I'm really excited about our program. We have an employment concentration, consists of 4 classes. Students are able to get a feel of the front office and the back office and be introduced into the career. So they do receive a certificate that is awarded through MSJC. Then we have the front office, which is about 6 core courses in medical assisting that are specifically geared towards the administrative. So it includes the administrative class, ethics, medical terminology, and medical billing and coding. Now, for having completed that certificate, a student is able to become certified. They qualify for the certification exam as a medical assisting administrative, as well as within that program, they have medical billing and coding as part of the overall medical assisting admin program. But that in itself is also another certification. So they're also able to do a certification exam. In the medical assisting clinical portion, we have the anatomy physiology class, the medical assisting clinical, and medical scribe. And so within that program, just with that certificate of about 8 classes, they're able to sit for the certification to become clinical medical assistants, as well as medical scribe. So again, 2 certifications embedded in that. And then having combined the admin and clinical courses along with general ed, students are able to earn an associate degree in medical assistant. And again, have any of those 4, all 4 or one of the 4 certifications. So there's quite a bit of opportunity as well as flexibility within the medical assisting program.
Great. Yes, thank you so much. That sounds amazing. Ms. Tracy.
Sure. So our program is an AS degree program, so you'll receive your associate degree, and it's set up really similar to the other programs where you will take prerequisites, and then there's about 5 other additional classes that you would take in order to receive your associate degree. We do encourage students to get all of their prereqs and all of their general ed requirements done before you apply to the program. And that's kind of obvious in some ways, and maybe you might not realize, but once you go through the 2-year program for any of these programs or 1 semester, whatever it is, you want to be able to start working, right? So you'll have very high likelihood that you'll have an opportunity for a job, for employment. So definitely try to get all those prereqs and all of your general eds done before you apply to a program. And with the DMS program, that also adds 5 points to your overall points out of 100. And so that's helpful too, just for the application process. So we do have the AS degree, and then students sit for their credentialing or licensing exams at the end of the program. And so they end up with a national license through ARDMS, and that's American Registry of Diagnostic Medical Sonographers. And it is a national exam, or a national license. So you can go to any state, any city, if you want to live, next to family. Even if you want to travel abroad and get a work or get employed outside of the US, it's accepted outside of the US. So it's a very versatile career license that you can take with you really anywhere. So.
And in your guys' department, when students are part of your program, do you guys help students identify volunteer opportunities or certain internships?
The internship is built into the program, so it's a 1-year internship.
Oh, great.
Yeah, most of our students are employed within 3 months after graduation.
Wow, that's an amazing statistic.
Yeah.
That's really great. Velma, is it like that in the MA program also?
In the MA program, the program is very open, so you don't really have to enter an MA program per se. We kind of have an open window of access, so students are able to come in. But once they are in the program, we do set up externships for them, and they can do them in segments. So we require 180 hours of externship experience. Students can do these in 60-hour increments, so they could sign up for a 1-unit course, which affords them 60 hours of externship. We place them at one of our sites that we have a contract with, and they complete their hours. They're able to do that at least 3 times if they do single units. If they have enough time in the summer and want to do all 180 hours at once, they can also sign up for a 3-unit class and be able to do all 180, but they can also have the flexibility of doing them in 60-hour increments.
Okay, great. And just for the students that may not be aware, do you mind explaining what an externship is instead of an internship?
An internship is one that sometimes they're used interchangeably. So internships is where the school hires or the facility hires and they're working within. An externship is usually when they're working outside of the facility.
Okay.
So students are leaving MSJC and going to other sites. And so we call it an externship. There are instances, for instance, where we have a clinic on site at MSJC and students will be interning, but they'll still basically performing their hours, having access to patients, and they're usually doing patient intake along with computerized data entry for those patients in the medical records, and then performing clinical duties, including vaccination. A lot of them, there's been a very high demand for MAs recently with COVID vaccines. So
yeah,
our
I'm
students
sure.
we've literally had hospitals soliciting and asking us if we could send interns so they could, externs, so they can have students to assist with it. And so our students have been very helpful with the pandemic as well.
That's really great to hear, and what great opportunity and real life experience for them to be doing that.
And then most of our students are being hired directly out of the externship. So again, externships, internships, clinicals, whatever they are called, having that foot in the door of having the employer see you as a person and how you work has led to a lot of jobs. And so most of the students are being employed directly outside of those externships.
Awesome, thank you. And Michael, sorry, not Michael, Paul, we changed your name back. Does your department help students with volunteer opportunities, internships, externships?
So one of the things that we offer, because education in the fire service was never really a big thing up till a few years ago. Now education is a big component. Myself as a fire chief for a department, you know, the degrees have to start stacking in order to maintain those positions. So it's been recently that the associate's degree and the bachelor's degree have become a big portion of what we do. So for those individuals who have been in this career for 15, 20 years that are coming back to school to be able to get those, to get that associate's degree or that certificate in order to promote to that next portion of career, we actually offer real world work experience as part of our Fire 549 program, where they can get so many credits based on their years of experience that can be validated through our counseling office and through our department chair. We also use our courses as an initial way for students to get into the fire academies within the area. There are local academies that students can take depending on what you're looking for and what certifications those academies offer. But we offer the basic courses to be able to get into the fire academy. As far as volunteer and internships, we don't provide those here at MSJC. We're a small program, but we do work with our students, and as we're given knowledge of where these positions are obtainable, whether it's as a volunteer firefighter, a reserve firefighter, an EMT, a paramedic, a fire explorer somewhere, we distribute that information to our students. One of the things that Chief Spalding does in Fire 101 to help our students get these volunteer and internship positions is he works with them to build their resume towards the fire service so that they can actually have a standing leg to be able to compete and be competitive as young adults in this very chaotic career field. And one thing I will say about the fire service is right now we're severely understaffed. I can speak for my department as well. I literally just hired 6 out of the academy firefighters for my department. There's departments like CAL FIRE who flew 925 firefighter paramedic positions and only had 324 applicants overall. So there's a lot of room and growth in the fire service, and we're getting to that portion where there's a lot of retirement. So we are definitely looking for the next generation of the fire service to come in and fill those positions.
Great. And in your opinion, what 3 skills should high school students build before going to college?
I definitely feel there needs to be a mechanical aptitude, especially if they're interested in coming to the fire service. That's one thing that we've seen lacking in probationary firefighters that we've hired across Southern California, across the nation. The mechanical aptitude just isn't what it used to be. So I always recommend that students get some hands-on experience. I always tell our students, when you sit in front of a fire chief during that chief's interview, they're going to ask you, what skills do you possess that another candidate might not possess? And this is your opportunity to talk about a particular skill. You might be good with mechanics. You might be good with welding. You might have experience with coding. So there's a lot of different classes you can take. I teach our fire investigation class, and one of the skills I talk about is being able to take good photography, because you're going to be using that in trial, and you're going to be using that in court cases and to gain convictions of criminals and arsonists. So I always say that there's not particularly 3 set skills for the fire service, because there's that saying, a jack of all trades, a master of none, but a jack of all trades is better than a master of one. And that's really what we are in the fire service. We really are a jack of all trades. And so I always tell everyone that if you can obtain more than 3 skills, do it. But at a minimum, have at least a couple of different skills that are going to make you viable in that fire station. And cooking a good meal never hurt.
I know I really watch a lot of Chicago Fire, and I know about the new candidates that come in do a lot of the cooking.
Absolutely. I went way back when I was still an engine captain. I had a firefighter, and I asked him, I said, what is your favorite thing to cook? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, what do you like to cook when you're at home? He goes, you mean like heat up a Hot Pocket? And I'm like going, no, because my specialty is Firehouse Sloppy Joes. And so what I did is I passed that on to him. And by the time he passed his probationary year, he was literally a full-fledged chef. He was cooking anything you could throw at him. So I definitely say if the way to a fireman's heart is through their stomach. And so I tell our candidates, when you come into the fire service, that's definitely a great skill to have.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Ms. Tracy, for your department, what 3 skills could high school students possess that would really help them be successful with you guys?
Well, I think in any healthcare situation, definitely people skills is at the top for sure. I've always said that sonography is a mix of medicine, technology, and art. So even like Paul was saying with photography, there's many sonographers who have a passion for art, cooking, photography, painting, all of these things, because it really does have an artistic component to it when you are capturing these images for a radiologist to interpret. Definitely all of you can say yay for video games. Yeah, you can tell your parents, hey, video games have actually contributed to my future career. If you've seen a keyboard on an ultrasound machine, it looks like, I don't know, it looks like a spaceship or something. There's just all kinds of buttons.
Right.
And this generation that comes in, they're just very in tune and very comfortable with all of the different buttons and just kind of intuitive with which buttons to push. And so you all have an advantage for sure over the past decades that didn't have that technology. And then of course your interest in medicine. Again, I say go and talk to family or friends that are nurses, doctors, x-ray technologists, ultrasound, anything that you might be interested in. Go and sit with them and really listen to them. And definitely your patient skills, kind of, that's something that's in your heart that you just really desire to care for people. So
Great.
very, very satisfying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Miss Belma, I'm actually going to ask you a separate question. What success stories have you had come from careers in your courses?
Most of the employment, students who are going into an externship and Ms. Boris, I got a job. And I'm like, I'm so excited. That's awesome. The other one is I've decided to apply to nursing, and it's easier because of the things I already learned in medical assisting. So we're doing vitals, injections, pharmacology, using the EMR as simulated EMR, and so EKGs, urinalyses, those things, so they become familiar with those skills going into programs. So I've had success stories of students going into nursing, going into finishing a bachelor's program, even in nursing. And again, those who have used the hours and experience to go into medicine. So those have been very, very, I have a number of students who do medical assisting who are planning on going into the ultrasound program. And so, you know, those have been very rewarding for them. So again, jobs and as well as exposure into the medical field so that they can have an idea of what else they would like to do as they move from medical assisting. It's become a very great stepping stone moving forward into other careers. And that's been really gratifying.
Yeah, I can imagine how much that warms your heart, just having an old student come back to you, guess what? And they're all excited. Yeah, that's awesome. Paul, last question. What advice do you have for students who are interested in going to college but are not sure where to start? And maybe they have an interest in fire, or should they try it and then find out, or what's your advice on that?
One thing I can say about students who are unsure about their path, I can speak out of personal experience. Growing up, I was on an IEP, a special learning plan for kids who have reading and spelling and comprehension disabilities. And I've been doing this job for almost 18 years now. I climbed up the rank from firefighter all the way up to fire chief. I have a master's in management. And what I can say for those students who are interested in the fire service, but they're not sure about college, it really is the way of the world for this career field, because you have to be an EMT. Most departments are looking for paramedics, which is additional 1.5 to 2 year program on top of your EMT program and your actual skills hours. You have to attend a fire academy, whether it's with a department that hires you as an EMT or a paramedic that's going to put you through their internal academy, or whether you have to go through a college level academy. One thing I will say is that if individuals are serious about the fire service, a degree is a great way to go. You will learn how to formulate your reports. You will learn about different formatting. I always tell everyone, I can teach you to be the best firefighter in the world. I can teach you to be the best EMT and paramedic in the world. I cannot teach you to write a report. And when we have personnel that come in with the associate's degree, with the bachelor's degree, they're serious. They can write a report. They understand and they can articulate what's going on an incident and formulate that into a good sentence. I've watched individuals go to court, and even I've had to go to court and defend my reports and my patient care reports, my fire reports, investigation reports. And it's not an easy task. And one comment out of place, misspelling, grammatical errors, it's something that could potentially cause a mistrial. It's potentially something that can alter someone's future. So I definitely say the best advice I could give to someone who's not sure about going to college is look around and see where the world is going and have the opportunity to be the trendsetter and not be the follower. In the fire service, it's a very type A personality, want to lead the way career field, and associate's degrees are a great start, because from an associate's degree here at MSJC, you can go many different avenues. You can go to Columbia Southern, who has a degree in emergency services management. You can go to ASU, that has a degree in fire protection administration. You can go to Eastern Kentucky University that has a degree in fire protection engineering. And even here locally, Cal State LA offers a bachelor's degree in fire protection and administration. So there are a lot of great opportunities. And I always tell everyone, when you get into the career in the fire service, you never plan to promote. I can tell you, I never planned on becoming a fire chief in my career. I thought I was going to spend 30 years in the back of a fire engine, putting out fires and, you know, pulling cats out of a tree. I never thought that I would be running an organization with 40 people underneath me and making a day-to-day decision on how budgets are spent, how we articulate what we're doing to the community, to our city council, especially to our mayor and city manager. And you never know when that opportunity for promotion's coming. In the fire service, people are promoting a lot younger and a lot earlier than what we had seen 10, 15, I would say even 5 years ago. We're seeing personnel that have had 4 years on the job as a firefighter becoming fire captains. 10 years ago, a new fire captain would have had 10 years on the job as a firefighter before they promoted. And so I always say having that formal education prepares you to take that promotion. You may not know that you want it, and you may just be testing to get it or to see where you're at in that process. But that formal education could definitely give you a step up against the competition. And so when you think about going to college, it's not just for a career, it's for a lifestyle. And I always say the best thing I can tell people about the fire service, I've done this job for 18 years, and I've done 18 years of having a hobby that I get paid for and not working a day in my life. I absolutely love what I do. And I know that if it wasn't for a college education, I wouldn't be where I'm sitting. So the best advice I can give to everyone, if you love what you do and you want to make a difference in your organization, it's going to be through education.
Great. Thank you so much. Ms. Velma, quickly, yes. Do you have any advice you could give for students that want to go to college?
Sure. If you have courses in your high school, whether it's a terminology class or even just your science classes, those are really helpful to pay attention. It seems sometimes I'm hired as a not only a medical assistant teacher at the high school, but also a science teacher. I teach chemistry and biology. And I'm finding that less and less students are interested in those. But the scientists rule the world, so. So for sure, I mean, don't back away from those science classes. Try to enjoy them, try to stay with the discipline of what it takes, because it really pays off. And while you're in high school, if your high school does not offer any of those career paths, it's okay to maybe consider a dual enrollment to try to apply. It is possible for seniors to apply to take a college class while they're in high school and kind of get your feet wet on what some of those classes are about, getting used to the textbook. The discipline, it does require a lot of discipline, a lot of attention to detail, because again, you want to make sure that you're taking good care of patients, not making any mistakes that will lead to injury or harm to the patient. So good attention to detail, but working with other people, making them well is a great way to go.
Yes, thank you. And lastly, Miss Tracy.
Thank you so much. I would definitely echo what both Ms. Burrows and Mr. Lindley have said as well. Really, and I guess I want to throw in too, with all of our students, I always tell them positive self-talk every day, because sometimes you're going to have a day where you feel like you just can't do it, and other days you feel like I can do this, I'm doing great. So anyway, that positive self-talk is really a big deal. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. There are so many resources at the college for tutoring. We have peer, group studies. And so there's just a lot of resources to really help you through to reach your goals. So just know that. And then also, I don't know if all of you know that MSJC is free for your first year. So
wow,
it is, yeah.
that's
so
amazing.
If you don't have any prior college credits. I believe that's kind of the stipulation that you can attend the first year for free. Maybe Beth Bowles, I don't know if she wants to confirm that, but anyway, I know that it's free. And so I would say just go for it, and you can do it. You can definitely.
I was just going to say, students, it's not guaranteed that it's free, but most of us get free tuition. It's a fee waiver. Sorry to interrupt, but it's very important that students apply for it. And then, yeah, it's always cool to see that it's $1,000 bonus if you go full time, right? Every semester. Yeah. And if you don't get it one semester, apply again. You might get it the next semester because things change in your household or in the federal government. And thank you for the link in the chat. Definitely read about financial aid. There is money for college, including once you are registered in classes, some emergency funding right now, but do your FAFSA. That's the key to finding money for college, and see if you get the fee waiver, which makes your college free.
Absolutely. That was so much great information for these students and parents. Thank you. As we come to a close, I do want to thank everyone who joined. I really hope this panel session did help all the students, educators, parents who are participating. Let me just share my screen for you guys. I want to go over the community. Please remember, we do have a industry panel tomorrow, and this whole community will be available to you guys throughout this week and up until the end of the school year for you guys. So if you want to revisit this, check out any of the older events that we've already done, this is all available to you guys. See. Make sure you guys are going through all the tabs. If you are looking to enroll into MSJC, this link is will take you directly to that page. And also Ms. Jenny did put a link to the applying for that free year in the chat if you want to check that out. There's a whole bunch of booths you guys can check out. And under our nursing and allied health tab, these are our where you will find your workshop sheets that we will ask you to submit to us at the end of the week, and check out all the other booths we have available, talking about salaries, the diagnostic medical sonography booth Ms. Tracy provided for you guys. And under our exhibitors, these are the people that will be in our industry panel tomorrow. So if you wanted to check them out, you are free to do that. There's a bunch of links, videos you guys can watch. And yes, just be sure to be busy on that during this week that we are hosting this event. We are done with this panel. Thank you all so much for joining. Follow VitalLink. We do have a tab on the page with our Twitter, Instagram. Follow us along for any updates on any upcoming events. And we will see you guys joining in tomorrow, 4:15 again to 5 o'clock. And thank you so much again to our panelists. This was awesome.